What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Bold School of Commerce. Bold School of Commerce, Season 2, Episode 3, Why You Need to Be Using Your Shopify Blog. For those of you who are new to School of Commerce or who are just tuning in today, well, Bold School of Commerce is a live e-commerce lesson where we teach you our best tips and tricks and e-commerce practices that are going to help you sell more, drive traffic, create sales, build your brand, generate awareness, all those buzzwords and everything in between. So for those of you who are new and are just joining us today, just like an actual classroom, if you have questions about anything that's going on in the webinar, or the live stream as we call it, feel free to ask. We are talking all about today how to use your Shopify blog, and it's great because number one, content marketing is really big. Number two, it's almost the opposite of social media. I find that there's a lot of content that people are talking about right now that's short form, social media, this, that, and the other. But let's not forget how important long form content is. You know, it's one thing for you to be able to say as much as you want to say to your audience in under 140 characters, but it's another thing for you to be able to give them valuable information about your products, about your store, about your brand, showing the benefits, and that's where blogging comes in. So for today's syllabus, we're going to be talking about the benefits of blogging, how to set up your Shopify blog and how to start blogging. That will probably take less than 2 minutes, and how to come up with ideas for your Shopify blog in general. So I think we can get right down to the topic right now of why your business needs a blog, and it's pretty simple. Number one, probably people are going to say SEO, but what does that mean? Well, I mean, it's the idea of you being found on search, on Google, through other people's contents, whether that's using backlinks or whether that's having more pages on your website. It's going to generate awareness for your products. You know, for all you know, if you started blogging, you might get picked up by another news stream or by another news feed or by another outlet or by another blog. And that way your content's going to be available to be shared that way. If it gets picked up by another influencer or by somebody in your industry, that's just definitely going to help generate that awareness for your sales. So as I mentioned, we're going to be talking a little bit about the business of blogging and the benefits of blogging. And I've just got like a laundry list of things that I thought that we could go over. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to ask them. And nearing the end of the presentation, I'm going to be giving you guys some take-home tips with you, some practical tips on not only what you should be blogging about, but almost like a template, if you will, on how to blog, and even giving you some ideas. So if you stick around with us to the end, we're going to have some of that awesome tips and awesome tricks for you. So let's start and talk right about the benefits of blogging. Number one, it's going to be growing your business. And number two, it's going to be sort of showing off your business. So the idea of blogging, it's really painting like a long form picture for your audience. You know, it's giving you another outlet, another form of content where you're going to be able to drive traffic to your website and build your business that way. You know, whether that's, new product releases or a little bit about your company, or maybe you've got some sales going on, or maybe you want to show people how to use your products. There's so many awesome benefits to blogging, and it's super easy to do. It allows for you to not only show off your business, but also show off your products. You know, product pages, they can only go so far. You know, there's limited amount of space that you can write copy. There's limited ways where, you've captured someone, maybe you've got an ad campaign, something like that. Somebody clicks on your Facebook ad, boom, it takes you to their product page. There's only so much information that your customer can digest from that and figure out if you are the right company, or you're the right business, or you're the right product for the need that they have to fill. And that's why blogging comes into play. You can really expand upon topics. You can add images, you can add videos, you can have, your bullet points. So like for your long form content, you can summarize it that way. When we talk a little bit about the best ways for you to actually start blogging, we're going to be talking about writing in headlines, bullet points, sub-headlines, all that good stuff. But it's just a really great way for you to think outside the box and show off your business and show off your products. I don't know if you guys follow any specific blogs. If you are following some blogs, write them in the comments section. I'd love to hear about some of the blogs that you're following. We're talking about Shopify. I think that Shopify does an amazing job of showing off, really what it is to have a blog. You'll notice here, they have it divided up here, e-commerce, retail, Shopify updates. And this is kind of like the same way that if you're new to blogging and you're starting out a blog, one of the really great ideas that you can do and that you should do is check out some of the competition in your industry. Maybe check out 5 of your top competitors, see what they're blogging about. That's going to give you a really good idea. It's going to give you a really good idea of what it is that you should be blogging about as well. So just keep that in mind. Shopify is a really great resource. They pump out a ton of content. That's going to allow you to think of titles and think of other things that you can be blogging about as well, which is it's going to help you go a long way, and ultimately it's going to allow for you to make sales. I think the question that we should answer right off the bat is, I guess, how does blogging increase my sales? How does blogging increase my conversions? Well, the idea here is that you are giving your customers enough information for them to satisfy all of their questions, if you will. Your customer's looking for a coffee, and maybe they're looking for a food product, maybe they're looking for a shirt, maybe they're looking for a table. How are they going to choose you? Why are they going to choose you? This is where blogging comes into play. You can tell your customers all about your products, all about your company, the benefits that your products do offer them, how your products make their lives easier, how your products make other people's lives easier. And it's really just satisfying all those potential questions that your customers might have that your product page just, essentially might not answer. It allows for you to expand on, how to use your product. You can do simple walkthroughs, some how-tos, anything like that. And it's really solidifying your buyers, your customers' questions, knowing that, hey, this seems to be an industry leader, very reputable brand. They've got a lot of great content, and content is key. If you're consistent with your blog and you're producing content, every week you have a new blog, people are going to start to see that, whether that's the industry that you're in or whether that's your customers. They're going to start to see that you are on top of things. You know what's going on, you're consistently updating, which in turn probably means you're consistently updating your products. Think about it this way. If your customer had to choose between your product in your company and another product in another company, and you are creating all of this fresh new content, you're constantly innovating your products, you're constantly making new tweaks here, you're constantly listening to your customers' feedback, and in turn taking that direction to making your brand and your company better, or are they going to go with the other company that doesn't do that? Hey, even if that company's product might be a little bit cheaper than yours, the fact that you're constantly innovating, creating this content, showing them that you're an industry leader, showing them how awesome your brand is and how awesome your products are, it's just another really simple way that doesn't take a lot of your time that is just going to have a really big impact on your bottom line. To round up everything that we were talking about, how does blogging, add to your conversions? Well, you're providing value. You're showing your customers. Maybe you're providing them some sort of entertainment. You're getting to know them. You're developing that relationship. You have that good communication. You're constantly innovating. It ultimately is just going to make you better as an entrepreneur and your business better as well. And you might even develop a new skill. You don't have to be a Hemingway to be a good blogger. There's a lot of blogs out there that's short form content that's really great too. Take you say you have a new product, boom, that's a blog right there. Say new product announcement, you list the specs. You can probably even copy and paste whatever is on your product page, and you just expand on that, and that's a blog right there. It doesn't have to be these long 8-page or these 20-page guidelines or books or anything like. There's a lot of very simple things that you can do that's going to allow for you to increase those conversions strictly with your blogging. So for those of you who are just tuning in, maybe you just caught us on Facebook. We're streaming right now on Facebook and Crowdcast. We're talking all about blogging and how you should be using your Shopify blog to tell your customers about your products, to showcase new announcements, to show the benefits. There's so many things that you can be doing with your blog. We talked a little bit about the benefits of blogging, how it's very easy for you to show off how to use your products, develop that that industry level of standard, you know, where you're an industry leader, you're constantly blogging, showing you're active, which means, you know, you're going to be constantly innovating your products and your website. People want to know that you're moving forward. They just don't want to know that you're a stagnant company. You've got these products, and that's a really cool way that blogging can help you do that. You're telling your stories. It's a really great way to tell stories. And ultimately, that is the way that your blog is going to convert. So before we move any further, what I wanted to do, and just sort of get this out of the way right now, I'm just going to share my screen with you right now. This is the back end of your Shopify store here. My store, the cameras galore. You know, you're very familiar with this page here. Now, if you want to start blogging, you simply have to go to this area here, and you just click Online Store. And I clicked it a bunch of times. You only need to click it once, and it's going to take you here. You know, here you're going to be able to adjust your themes and your pages and whatnot, and that's something that I'm sure everyone's familiar with. But you're just going to click on Blog Posts, and it takes you right here. Boom, Blog Posts. All you need to know here is this is how you add a blog, and it's really that simple. From there, you know, everything's laid out for you. You know, you type in your title, new blog post. And from here, you have all of the same aspects as a Word document or anything like that. You know, you can bold things, you can write in headings, you can write in subheads, you can do anything like that. Everything that you would naturally have the capability of doing with a Word document or anything like that, you can do that for your blog. So if anybody has any questions about how to set up a blog, that's really it. So timestamp that. At however, what are we at? We're at about 15 minutes now. Remember that's where you need to go if you want to figure out how to actually set up your blog. And it's just that easy. So now that we've talked about how to set up your blog, and we've talked about the benefits of blogging, let's talk about how to come up with some ideas. I've been sort of grazing over some ways that you can do that, and I think that one thing that I just wanted to mention again is that you really don't need to be an experienced writer to do this. In fact, I mentioned at the start that, you know, what I really enjoy about blogging is the idea that you can expand on topics and you can go long form and you can include, you know, FAQs and the benefits. You know, you say the feature, you show the benefit, you tell a story. But at the same time, if you wanted to keep it short and sweet, bite-sized pieces of information, new feature update, new product, new sale, those are all very easy that you can do, and you can just pump those up on your blog. You can almost think of it as anything worth mentioning. So let's take your social media strategy. I'm sure that there are some social media posts that you already have that you can just expand on and do a short form blog. It can be, you know, 3 to 4 sentences with some bullet points and a call to action. You know, check out this product. So now let somebody, maybe let's say you sell swimming pools. You know, for all you know, let's go big. Let's go with swimming pools. You write a blog post on the top 10 ways to use your swimming pool in the summer, or the top 10 swimming pool toys that you should be using this summer. You've got a curated post where you take the best of the best. You know, it shows that you know a little bit about the swimming pool industry. You know, you've got your noodles, you've got your floaties, you've got your drink holders. You write a blog, you send that out, you post that on social media, you post it on your blog. Heck, maybe that gets picked up. Maybe somebody sees that. Maybe somebody just goes to Google and types in top 10 pool toys for the summer. All of a sudden, without you having to do that much more work, boom, you show up in the Google search there, somebody clicks on your page, and it's just that easy. And that's what I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be this whole strategy here. You're really just providing value. Every blog that you write should be adding value to your customers' lives. So it doesn't have to be too salesy. It doesn't always have to be new product, new product, new product, new sale, new feature. Show different ways how people can use your products. Add value. Make somebody's life a little bit easier that way. You start to create all of these titles and all of these blogs that people are going to go to for this information. You're essentially carving out your own niche and your own path and curating all of this information that your customers are then going to use. So just keep that in mind. So I'll drop in now with a few suggestions, some things that I got written down here. Your story. I recommend that this is your first blog post. If, let's say you're new to Shopify, you've just started your store, tell people Tell people how you got started. Tell people what you sell. Tell people why you sell it. Just give some people some information and then include that in maybe one of the tabs on your store. So that way if people want to find out more, you've got your about section, then you've got your blog section. Tell them the story of how it all got started. Maybe, I kind of grazed over this as well, talking about your products. Now, the way that you should be talking about your products on your blog is the same way that you should be talking about your products to your friends. Don't try and write like you don't talk. Sorry, that was a terrible sentence. Don't try and write in a way that you're not comfortable with. Just as I'm talking to you right now, that's how I would actually write on my blog. You want to keep that voice very simple. And that's the thing. Think about telling your friend about your new product. Hey, you got to check this out. It's a great thing. It helps you here. It costs this much. Here's a bunch of other people using it. You're having a conversation with somebody that way. Let's get back to the pool toys. The pool toys are great. Here's some people using it. Here are the top 10 pool toys. All you're really doing is sharing information just as you would share with your friend, but you're sharing it to your customers because ultimately these are the people that are going to be buying from you. So, just keep that in mind. It's very simple, just to keep your voice. Another really popular way is how-tos. Regardless of how many products you have, if you have 5, 10, 15 products, you can write a how-to article on your product, how to use it, the benefits, and showing other people using it, how easy it is for your customers to use it, and that's just a really good example. Company updates, whatever you want, really. So I'm just going to take a little moment here just to check out to see if there are any questions happening. I'll just check out the Facebook page here. For those of you who are just tuning in, maybe you're just catching this on Facebook, maybe you're already with us on Crowdcast, I'll check that page right away. We're talking all about blogging, the benefits of blogging, how to blog, what you should be blogging about, what you can be doing, and everything in between that will ultimately lead to more conversions. So I don't see any questions there. Fantastic. Let's just check over here. Let's just check the Crowdcast page really quick. Blogging doesn't have to be rocket science. You don't have to be a Hemingway. You don't have to be an author. You can easily write blogs in short form content, product options, product updates, how to use your products, anything like that, and everything in between. So let me just take a quick peek here. No questions as of yet. Kate, rock and roll. So now that we've talked a little bit about the benefits of blogging, how you can blog, we've shown you how to set up your Shopify blog. What I wanted to talk briefly about now, and I think this is almost like one of my favorite parts, maybe not the favorite part, but it's one thing for me to tell you topics and sort of what to do, but I wanted to tell you some tips on how to write a kick-ass blog post from a copywriting standpoint. I do a lot of blogging around here. We all do a lot of blogging. I do the social media. So it's important to be able to be a good copywriter. You want to take whatever message that you have, be able to tell your customers, be able to show it to your audience, have them digest exactly the message that you want to send them, give them a call to action, and have them act on that. In layman's terms, all I'm trying to say is if you write a blog, make sure it has a purpose. Make sure it has a call to action. You want your customers to do something. That way, you're not just sort of spinning your wheels here. But that being said, let's say you're starting to write a blog post. What are some of the copywriting tactics that you can use to create the best kick-ass blog post that you can write? Number one, write in short paragraphs. Nobody wants to read an essay. You see it every day. I can show you some examples. I'm going to show you actually a Shopify store called Doc Artisan. I actually use their phone case. It's a great phone case, and I really like what they're doing on their blog, so we'll get to that right away. But getting back to the actual practical aspects of copywriting, short paragraphs and bullet points. We had our last School of Commerce lesson on how to write, it was called Product Descriptions for Dummies, how to write the best product description. What you want to do is you want to have a short, catchy paragraph, list some bullet points, and you want to write in headlines specifically for a blog. People read in headlines. Think about how many articles you read on a daily basis. You skim for headlines. You say, okay, that's something I'm interested. Check out the bullet points, and you move on. Am I right? I bet you I see some of you nodding out there because that's how I read it. So that's what you want to make sure that you have, sort of a template, if you will. Subheads, what the blog is about, then headings on what the blog's about, headings that are going to be able to divide your blog, with the different aspects that you do have, and then subheads. So headings within a heading that allows for your customers and your audience just to sort of skim that page and get a little bit more information. So we're writing in short paragraphs, we're writing in headlines, we're writing in sub-headlines, we're using bullet points. Write how you talk. I can't stress that one enough. Well, unless you have a ghostwriter, which, if you're looking at it that way, somebody else who's writing your blogs for you might not be the best use of your money, especially if you're just starting out. People want to hear it from you. They want to hear how you talk. They want to hear how you speak. For all you know, you're going to do a video. You're going to start video vlogging and video blogging. People are going to read that. They're going to watch that. Then they're going to read your blog. You want to have a consistent voice. So just write as you talk. That's some of the best, blogs out there. On one hand, you can go to a blog for information. It's going to be long and you're going to learn a lot. On the other hand, maybe you're just reading for fun and you're reading for entertainment. Combine the two aspects of those, entertainment with, information, infotainment, if you will. Is that a word? Infotainment, hashtag that. And that way, you're going to sort of get the best of both worlds. So now that you've got an idea, you've written out your blog, you've written in short paragraphs with headings and subheads and bullet points, and it's all done, you're ready to push publish, read it out loud. Read it out loud to yourself. It's one thing for you to have your earbuds in and you're just going and you're just typing. Read it out loud. Does it flow properly? Are there some different words that you can use? Could you maybe break up a paragraph here or there? Could you add a little bit more? Send it to a friend. Ask them to read it for you. This is what the kind of the community that, I especially appreciate for e-commerce or Shopify. There's so many people out there that are looking to help you out and give you advice. So, you send your blog to them, you say, what do you think? Here's what I'm trying to accomplish. Do you think I accomplished that? And get some feedback on that. Here's a pro tip for you. If let's say you're starting to churn out a lot of blogs, proofreading. Proofreading is so important. You wouldn't want to post a blog with a bunch of spelling errors. Grammarly is a really great app that you could install. You copy and paste your content in there and it'll show you all your spelling mistakes. If you don't want to do that, I remember one of the lessons I learned in university was if you really want to find out if your grammar and whatnot and your spelling is all correct, read your blog post backwards. Sometimes when we read, we get a little bit ahead of ourselves and we don't even read all of these words. But if you read your blog post backwards, you're going to be able to see if you're using the right words and the right words are spelled properly. That might be a little bit of an advanced tactic or an advanced tip, but just keep that in mind. And the last thing that I wanted to just mention was keep blogging. You're only going to get better with time. You might have a knack for it and you might shoot out a blog and just say this is easy, but for a lot of you, writing wasn't something that I was super comfortable with either. So I started writing over time, I started doing more blogs, you get more comfortable with it, and that's just sort of what's going to help you develop your blogging skills. So now that we've talked a little bit about the ways that you can write a kick-ass blog post, I wanted to share another screen with you here. So let's just get that screen capture going, boom. Here is a company called Doc Artisan. I use their cell phone case. And what I really appreciate about their blog is how bite-sized these pieces of information are. So as you can see down here, we'll just put that one up. Boom, there's a sale going on. So you have a sale, you're probably gonna post that on social media. It's just that simple. You write a blog post with your sale, and then maybe you include some of the products that you're going to have on sale. So that's one idea. You have the idea of telling your customers about a sale. Here's something else that I really like. Number 2, case change. So this would be a feature adjustment. It's very short, very sweet. I might say maybe break this up into a couple paragraphs and maybe add some bullet points. But all they're doing here is they're saying, here's what's new. Here's the new feature that we have, and it's a blog post. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be 3 pages. It doesn't have to be anything like that. And that's just what I thought was really great about a blog that easy. You write about a sale you're having. You write about a new product you have. You write about some features that you have, and it just is that easy. So we are, what do we got for time here? We're running near the end here, so I just wanted to gloss over what we've gone over a little bit so far. And that's the benefits of blogging, why you should be blogging, a few power tips and a few pro tip ideas. We talked about, SEO traffic. Maybe your blog is going to get picked up there. It's adding to your product pages. It's elaborating on your products, elaborating on your store, elaborating on your story. It's super beneficial for SEO. I don't want to stress that enough, but I'm also not an SEO expert. We've got an SEO expert, a guest lecturer, if you will, coming in on School of Commerce, coming up down the road. So make sure to tune in for that. That being said, though, we'll wrap up this lesson first before we get too ahead of ourselves with all of the other topics. The benefits of blogging, why you should be blogging, how to blog, some kick-ass tips on copywriting and formatting for your blog. Maybe the last thing I'll just touch on is how to promote your blog. You've got a really great blog post. What do? Add that on your social channels. Boom, that's a tweet right there. That's a Facebook post right there. Maybe that's an Instagram post. Who knows? Depends on what you do for your social media. Bump that up on your social media. If it's that good, maybe it's a curation of articles and you want to let people know, boom, send an email out. Here's our latest blog post. Then maybe at the end of the month, what you can do here, this is just a little fun tip too. At the end of the month, take the 4 blog posts that you wrote that month, and you've got a blog right there. You've got what happened this month. This month at mikestore.com, and you summarize what happened and you include your blog posts in there. It's just a really cool way of sort of reusing your content, if you will. Email blasts, social media, ads. If you're on Facebook, I'm sure you know, I don't have to beat the dead horse already. Organic reach is slowly getting smaller. 16%, 8%, what is it now? I don't have the answer. It seems to keep changing. Last time I checked, I think it was 8%. So keep in mind that the idea here of either promoting your stories or creating some ads, whether that's Google AdWords, about your blog, it's just that one extra step that you can sort of do. And that's really it. So today we've talked all about blogging, the benefits, how to, some ideas, what you can be doing, how to set it up, how to come up with ideas, your how-tos, your benefits, your sales, your story, what's going on, maybe a cool event that you went to, maybe some industry news, maybe there was something that's shaking up your industry that you just wanted to write a blog about and let your customers know. All that is something that you can make a blog post out of. Blogging is simply taking, your social media, these short bite announcements, and expanding on them a little bit more. If you have any more questions about how to come up with ideas, or maybe it wasn't as clear to you, maybe you've got a new store and you're not really familiar with your industry, feel free to write what your store is in the comments section. Let me know. I'll have a look and I can come up with a few blog ideas for you. You know what I mean? It's super easy to do, and I'm more than happy to help you out with some ideas. That being said, we have reached the end of Season 2, Episode 3. Why you should be using your Shopify blog. As you know, or some of you that don't know, Bold School of Commerce, e-commerce lessons where we teach you our best tips and tricks and best practices for you to become a better e-commerce entrepreneur, sell more, do more, drive traffic, come up with sales, start blogging, SEO, augmented reality, and everything in between. We want to just talk about it and have a conversation with you guys and let you know what we know, so that way everybody knows what's going on and everybody can ultimately get a bigger piece of that e-commerce pie. That being said, let's talk a little bit about what is coming up. Bold School of Commerce happens every 2 weeks. The next one will be February 15th on Thursday at 1 p.m. Central Time. Augmented reality in e-commerce. We actually have a special guest lecturer coming in to talk all about augmented reality. The idea here, I'll just give you a little bit of a tidbit here. I bought a wine recently. I think it was called True Crimes or something about crimes. And the wine bottle itself had a picture of a criminal on there. I had an app where I downloaded the app and I put the app in front of the wine bottle, and then the wine bottle started talking to me. The character on the wine started telling me all about his story. It was crazy. And that's the idea. That's the future of e-commerce. How can we as e-commerce entrepreneurs take advantage of that? What's new? What's happening? How can you get a piece of that pie? That's what we're going to be talking about with our special guest on augmented reality and e-commerce. That'll take us through February. Then we're looking into March. We've got 3 coming up in March. The best podcast of 2018 so far. We just released a new podcast called Ka-Ching. Make sure to check that out. It's an e-commerce podcast. So we talk about Shopify stores. We grill, Kevin Wild. I'm sure you remember Kevin Wild from School of Commerce in the past. He's also our head of partnerships here. He is a guy to listen to if you want to learn what it takes to succeed in e-commerce. It's called Cha-Ching. I'll include a link in this to make sure that you guys know all about that. Cha-Ching, Cha-Ching, Cha-Ching. Just write that down. Maybe listen to it later. Great podcast. We're going to be talking about podcasts, the best books to become an e-commerce expert. I'll be wrapping up March with my specialty, Facebook, or social media, 3 Facebook campaigns that you can steal that are actually going to make you money. And that's it. This has been another episode. I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope you guys learned a little. If you have any questions at all, make sure to let me know in the comment section and I'll get to them. If you have any questions, whether that's about starting a Shopify blog or whether that's just about e-commerce in general, maybe there's something that we haven't talked about that you want to know about, let me know. Let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been another episode of Bold School of Commerce. Thanks for stopping by, and happy selling. We'll catch you later. See you guys.